Hey, mathematicians, and get ready, as today we're going to talk about partitioning whole numbers precisely into equal parts using a number line method. And that just means we're going to talk about equally slicing up a whole number into equal parts on a number line. Let's get into it with our I will statement for today.
Remember, your I will statements are your goals for this lesson. They are what we are trying to work on and learn more about throughout our time together today. As we continue on in our lesson, make sure you have your mind focused on these three things and showing them to your teacher. I will read the I will statement first, and then we will read it again a second time together. Make sure you're reading it nice and loudly so I can hear you, but no shouting necessary.
Listen as I read the first one. I will compare fractions. Read that one with me. I will compare fractions. Let's look at the second one. I will model fractions using an image. Read that one with me. I will model fractions using an image. And our last one. I will draw fractions on a number line. Read that one with me. I will draw fractions on a number line. Good job, mathematicians. For our warm-up activity, we're going to practice comparing fractions. For the first part of this activity, I want you to draw two rectangles that are the same size. For the first rectangle, split it up into 4 equal pieces and shade in 3 of those pieces. Pause the video and do that now. If we were to look at this image we shaded here and represent it as a fraction, we have 3/4 colored in. Let's underneath draw in this rectangle, split it up into 8 equal parts, which means we will have to draw 7 lines to get 8 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we are going to color in, or shade in, 3 of those pieces. If we were to represent this image as a fraction, we would have 3/8. If we wanted to compare these two fractions using the images we had here, we could compare them using the greater than or less than symbol. On your whiteboards, write 3/4 and write 3/8. In the middle, put a little line. Using our images here, I can see that more of the 3/4 rectangle is colored in than the 3/8. That is telling me that 3/4 is greater than 3/8. So I'm going to draw the greater than sign, or the mouth, facing the 3/4. It wants to eat it because it's the bigger number. You are going to continue practicing comparing two different fractions. Let's do another one together. Let's look at the two fractions I have here. Let's look at the top one first. Count the total amount of squares with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 total squares. And hold up on your hand how many squares are colored in. There are 5 squares colored in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Making this fraction 5/10 represent this image. Let's look at our second image. Count the total squares and write it on your whiteboard as your denominator. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total squares here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those total squares are colored in. Now that we've identified the fractions for both of these images, we are going to compare them, again, using the greater than or less than sign. If I look at my two pictures here, I can see that more of this image or rectangle is colored in. So that's telling me I'm going to face or pick the less than sign in this case, so it faces the 5/8. Write this on your whiteboards. I'm going to project 2 more fractions, and you are going to have to compare them. I will show you 2 sets, so there will be 2 here, and there will be 2 fractions down here, and your job is going to be to figure out what those fractions are, and then compare the 2 of them on the side, just like we did here. I'll show you those fractions now. Here are the fractions you will be using. You'll compare the top two and the bottom two fraction strips, first identifying what the fraction is and then comparing which is greater than the other one. You can draw these fraction strips out on your board, or you can just write the fractions and the comparison problem on your whiteboards. When you are done, share your answers as a class and talk about how you figured out your solutions. Then come back when you're ready to start with our new material for today. Okay, mathematicians, for today's activity, we're going to talk about how we partitioned a number line differently in the past. Now, we have used different ways, including a ruler, to help us figure out how to partition a number line equally. We have also folded fraction strips to help us create a number line as well. All of these different methods were great tools in helping us develop an accurate number line and calculating different problems that we may have needed to look for. Today, we are going to explore a method to mark off any fractional unit precisely, which means exactly, without the use of a ruler and just by using a lined piece of paper. Now, for this activity to work accurately, you'll need to follow your teacher's directions. You will work through 5 different steps together using your piece of paper. You'll first start by creating a number line. Everybody flip your pieces of paper so they are facing the same way as mine now. The circles of your paper or the red line on your paper will always be the bottom of your paper. To remember that, put a little X in the bottom or a little star. That way we remember to always hold our paper this way, even if we are turning it different ways. You'll need a ruler for this activity as you create a number line, and you'll also need to use the little blue lines that you see on your paper here. It's important when tracing those lines to use your straight edge and take your time. Follow your teacher's instructions, mathematicians, and have fun exploring this method and using a lined piece of paper to create a number line with exact fractional units. I'll talk to you guys soon.